Today I would like to highlight some of the key issues from the financial sponsor's perspective that arise in energy project development transactions where the project is being developed through a joint effort of a developer and a financial sponsor. Specifically, the arrangements and legal protections put in place for the time period between inception of project development and closing on construction financing are critical. For most energy projects, whether they're power plants, pipelines, transmission projects, etc., that period of time is the highest risk period of time for the project, when the project's ability to move forward is subject to significant contingencies, including obtaining permits, land rights, off-taker agreements, supply agreements, and ultimately obtaining a financing commitment from a construction lender. Getting the wrong result on any of these items can result in the death of the project. For this reason, from a financial sponsor's perspective, given that money is being put up at risk with no guarantee that the project will go forward, the financial sponsor needs to ensure that its legal arrangements with the developer protect the sponsor to the extent possible. First and foremost, the financial sponsor needs to be able to control the project, both while funds are being expended during the development period and if something goes wrong. Typically, two structures are used for this. Either the project rights and assets are owned by an entity, typically a limited liability company that the financial sponsor controls all material aspects of governance and equity interests, or alternatively, the financial sponsor may not be a direct owner but may advance funds to the project through a development loan arrangement, where the loan is secured by a lien on all project assets and equity interests. The loan has a drop-dead date when it comes due, and it includes a set of covenants that provide various restrictions on the developer, tantamount to giving control of the project to the financial sponsor. Second, from the financial sponsor's perspective, there needs to be clear limitations on the obligation of the financial sponsor to continue funding the project if the project gets into trouble. At a minimum, the project should have a project budget and milestones, and the financial sponsor should have no obligation to provide any more funding if the developer is not advancing the project in compliance with the budget and milestones. Milestones might include obtaining key permits, a binding commitment for an offtake agreement, or regulatory approval. When milestones are not achieved on schedule, frequently that is a sign of trouble for the project. Finally, the financial sponsor needs the right to bring in other financial institutions, sell a project or its interest in the project, or if the developer has not satisfied certain performance standards, terminate the role of the developer. There is a certain amount of risk inherent in developing any energy project from commencement. Accordingly, it is critical that a financial sponsor mitigate some of this risk by properly negotiating critical items in its arrangement with the project developer.